Alright guys, how's it going today? So, try to make a quick little video here for you. So, got some shit for everything. I'm gonna try to remember to make out a list for the hardware because there's still some things I forgot to get, but got some things and yeah. So, yeah. So I went to the hardware, and I'll start with the hardware, I guess. Picked up some spray paint, and I picked up some chemical because I didn't have any chemical for weed control. So I brought this stuff for the farm, and of course here if I want to use it. I'm not sure how good this stuff will be, but we'll try it out. Seen it on a old catalog that I had from a long time ago. I wanted to try that. It looked like some good stuff, so bought some of that. And then for here, for that little rock garden thing up in front of the house, I just got the classic Roundup. So that will definitely last me the rest of the year. So that's chemical. Spray paint, and I'm doing some painting. This is technically day 2 now, doing some painting, and I fucked up big time over here, so just trying to correct it the best I can, but that's the way it's gonna have to do for now. But I bought this can of paint from the hardware. This is some gloss black. Number is 5505. That's the number of the paint. It's good enough. It's for indoor, outdoor use. Good for metal, wood, and plastic, and more. So you're probably wondering what I'm painting now. Well, I'm painting this headlight assembly grill looking thing for the 1586 because the black paint was inside here, that was fading off. This one turned out okay, and then this one I did a major fuck up because I had to paint these twice now, because the first time I kind of like, because I'm using electrical tape because I don't have painter's tape. I forgot to actually get some painter's tape with the hardware. So I got to make do with what I have, and I want to get this done. So I had to peel off the paint, look at what I missed, redo it all again, remask it off. And I think this one might turn out all right, but this one definitely did not turn out. I'm not sure how good it's not going to show up too well, but there's, in this corner right here, there's some like wrinkling in the paint. I think it's because I laid it on too thick by mistake, and it just had nowhere to go. So the rest of it turned out, looks like it turned out all right, but I'm trying to put layers of paint on it to maybe fill in the gaps, but I don't think that's going to work. But I'm going to let this paint sit, let it do its thing for a while, and then try to hit it again. So, but I kind of recommend not to paint these stupid things because they're a pain in the ass. Unless you actually know what the hell you're fucking doing. See, I'm not a professional painter at this, so I'm not a professional painter, I should say. So things turn out kind of crappy sometimes. I'm a little pissed off that happened. So yes, sandpaper would have solved that problem, but I don't have sandpaper, so don't bring up the idea because I don't have none of it. I don't have anything else that I can use that would grind paint off. So I'm not really sure what else I could do. And plus that would have to harden completely before you can even do anything with it. So I don't know what I could do. I mean, I guess besides take a knife to it and maybe try to, just peel off the high layers. But that's time consuming, and I want to get this thing freaking done. But I don't know, because I've been working at this since yesterday. It would have turned out fine if I didn't have, fucked up and oversprayed here. And another thing too, the screws that hold these things in, well, there's one that was already snapped off. That was probably from the last owner when they tried to remove that. I snapped off one because it was seized in there, and I was forced to actually drill that out because there was no other way it was coming out. And then the other ones that are remaining they have a slight bend in them. So they're junk as fucking well. They still work, but they're junk. So what I recommend doing is just ordering a new piece. They're expensive, but you know what? It saves you a lot of headache. Costs you money, but you know what? Mine actually has a crack in it. It's just one crack. You're not going to be able to see it. Oh, the bird. You're not going to be able to see it, but it's right here underneath my finger. There's a crack all the way through that. So that's only going to last so much longer before you do have to replace it. So, and then the IH thing in the center, that's fading too. So that you can replace because it's just held in with a couple of screws, but I didn't order one. So, but yeah, I think next time I'm just going to replace that with a new one, be done with it, because painting is kind of stressful if you don't. And this is hard to work with too, because you got all these fucking bends and shit in it, so it's hard to work with. So for me, it's just easier just to order a new one when the paint fades to a certain degree. This was pretty bad though. There wasn't hardly any black left on it. But like I said, this one so far looks like it turned out pretty good, but I have to unpeel the tape and see what I missed again. And then if it looks like I missed anything, well, then I got to reprime it or re-tape it again and then hit just what I missed. Because I want it to look somewhat professional, but it's not going to turn out professional now because of that fuck up in the center, so, or at the other end. So, pisses me off, but what can you do? I just have to freaking deal with it. So, from a distance, you won't be able to tell. You would have to be right up on it to see that. So, but it's just the fact that I see it all the time, because obviously I'm the driver of the tractor, so naturally if you're going to walk around your tractor, you're going to be about a foot from that, so you are going to see that, and that's what's going to irritate me. But if I think about it, I'll try to maybe get some sandpaper at some point, and then I will just, I guess, take everything back off again, and then, you know, grind the paint down and then throw another layer on. And for now, I'm just going to see if I can just, you know, make it look like it's not even there, but it's not going to happen, I think, because I'm putting on literally half a can already just in that one section, trying to kind of blend it all in, but I don't think it's going to happen. You would have to grind the paint down. So, and I don't have anything really smooth enough that could grind the paint down besides a knife. And I don't know if that's even going to work. That might just peel all the paint right back up again. But then that's okay too, I guess, if it does that too, because then I can restart all over again. But I don't know. I'm going to let that cure a little bit. And then I guess the only thing I have left to lose now is just try to maybe grind it with a knife. Because this is going to take way too much freaking paint to... it just looks, you know, not like it should. So... But other than that, like I said, yeah, you know, like I said, all the screws are shot too. Should have gotten new ones, I guess, but you would have to go to Case IH to get those, because the hardware's most likely not going to have what you need, and then you're going to have to paint them anyway. Of course, these old ones need to be painted too, the heads. But I'm not going to bother because they're shit anyway. So, and from a distance, you won't even tell those little tiny little rusted things. So, but yeah. So, and then I got the other parts coming for the 1586. The starter solenoid, and then the key switch, the thermostat, and then I got a gasket for the thermostat as well. That's so I can try to see if I can get my gauge to bounce back like it should when I'm using the tractor for the temperature. Because it doesn't move like it should, so I'm thinking the thermostat's a little wonky in it, but I won't know until I replace it. Wouldn't hurt to replace it anyway, because who knows how long it's been in there. And it's probably not even the right one, so that's why the gauge doesn't work like it should. So, but yeah, I'm attempting to fix this, but I want, you know, some paint left. Well, I got 2 of these, so I got to keep the other one. And I can always get more of this too if I need to. But I want to keep the other can because at some point I want to also paint the back lights housings too, for the back ones. Because they're faded too, they don't have any paint in them as well. So that's why I want to try to at least hang on to that last can. I only got 2 cans because I figured one would be for this and one could be for anything else. So, but I don't know. It's kind of disappointing how that freaking turned out. So, well, what can you do, right? So, But yeah, got other stuff coming for the tractor. That'll probably be here in a few days, and then we can fix the starter and the key switch and maybe have a fully functional tractor again whenever this gets put back in as well. You can run it without it, ain't gonna hurt it, but it's just gonna look kind of funny. But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. Because I got at least 3 jobs I gotta do with this tractor right out of the gate as soon as it gets this thing put back together. I gotta work my trail because the weeds are coming back in. I got a trailer that I need to move because it's in the damn way. And then the pasture, the main pasture, needs to be harrowed again because it's got a whole month's worth of cow shit on it, and you need to do that at least once a month. For the amount of cows that we have, it's at least a once a month deal that you have to hit it. So with a harrow or whatever. So, but yeah. So I got 3 jobs I need to do with that tractor right out of the freaking gate. So hopefully I can get it done here in the next week or so. But we'll see. And then I got stuff for Big Red. I don't know if I said that or not. I got the engine oil and then the filter for Big Red. And then next month we'll do the John Deere because I got to call that in to make sure they have everything in stock. And that way too, they'll actually box it up for me, and I can just be like, hey, my name is so and so, and I placed an order. So then they'll have it in a box, and it'll have my name written on it, and they'll know who to give it to. So it's just faster to call ahead of time. Then I don't have to sit there and look on the freaking shelves and then have to make the parts guy run to the back and look for a freaking filter. He can just do it right then and there and put it in a box and leave it on a shelf until I show up. So I usually like to call at least a week ahead of time, so that way they have plenty of time to get things, put into place. So, but yeah, so that's what's going on there. Just trying to do some little bit more spray painting, but I just don't think this is going to turn out. I don't have anything that can fix it. I could risk it to just use my fingerprint. That looks like it, for the most part. That actually kind of works. Well, that's you guys aren't even looking at nothing, but it's not sticking to my finger though. I don't recommend this, but it's working. So what was going on here is you guys still ain't looking at nothing. I can't videotape and work at the same freaking time. I can't, I tell you. Anyways, right here in this corner, like I was showing you earlier, I had that wrinkliness in the paint. I think that's from me overspraying, but that's my fuck up. So if you guys were here about an hour ago, you would have heard some words that are not meant for human ears, because I was raging inside because of my fuck up. Because I'm not, well, I want this to look decent, but yet it doesn't have to look like well, it kind of has to somewhat look like a damn professional did it. Because I want it to look, that's a little more drier, so that's going to be a little harder to deal with. I just wanted it to look nice, But what I'm doing now, which surprisingly, I guess I should have tried that earlier, but I didn't want to get paint all over me, but I'm not getting any paint on me. Because I am literally just pushing the bubbles down with my finger. And it's leaving my fingerprint behind, but I'm just going to put in a thin layer on top of that, and it should shine over. So, let me try here. This is not what painters would do, but this is what I got to do to make things look decent. Come on, stay in place, you little bastard. But yeah, so it's not perfect yet. I still got to keep doing it, but I don't know how good it'll show up on camera. But here and here, all along here, it's all. You can see, you can kind of somewhat see the bubbles in the paint, or the, whatever. It just didn't look right. But then I smoothed it over here with my finger. Of course, it's leaving my fingerprint behind, but that's no big deal. I'll just put a thin layer over that, and it's actually kind of hiding up the ugliness. It's not ideal, but it works, I guess. Because I didn't know how I was going to fix that. I know you could just sandpaper it down, but I don't have sandpaper, and I forgot to get some. So, yeah, I gotta do what I gotta do to make things decent. It's not gonna be 100%, but it doesn't have to be. It just has to look like at least somebody fucking tried. Now, I could have taken this, I guess, somewhere and had a real professional shop do it, but then it would have costed me a fortune. I think it would have been just easier just to replace it, to be honest with you. I'm still gonna probably let this cure for an hour. And then I'll put another thin layer on top of that, and that should actually hide the rest of the ugliness. But yeah, that's actually working fairly well. Still gonna need paint, more paint on top of it. Obviously, that's just gonna hide my fingerprint now, so you don't see that. But yeah, it actually looks a little bit better now. Should have tried that earlier instead of cussing, but I didn't want to get paint all over my fingers. But I guess it's dry enough that it's not really sticking to me. So I don't know. We'll let it cure for a little while, and then I'll see right here. It's too late. I can't do anything about that because that's got. It's not totally too late, I guess, if you work on it hard enough. But yeah, so that's what's going on. I'm just painting up this headlight housing thing, I guess, whatever the hell you want to call it. And then I want to at least try to put this thing back on tonight, but I don't know. They say, I think within like an hour you can handle it, but then for it to fully cure, it's about, I think, 48 hours apparently. That's a long time, but whatever. It's not going to rain anytime soon. They were talking storms today, but we didn't get frick all, and they were talking storms yesterday. We got frick all. When I went grocery shopping on the North Dakota side, we were coming home. We were actually driving through a little bit of rain, and we were just praying for that to come over the farm, but of course not. It was like 10 miles from the farm, so we are just freaking bone dry over here again. We're going to have short hay this year. Because it's so late now. I mean, well, it's early June, but you got to think about it for when the young guy comes to start cutting hay. He comes usually after July 4th is usually when he'll start, showing up a little bit, right? So our hay is literally probably about a foot tall. And that's not even worth cutting. It's not even worth burning the fucking field to cut it. So we need at least 6 inches of fucking rain, within a few days. Like not all at once, because then we'll get flash flooding. So throughout a couple of days, get 6 inches of rain, let it soak into the ground, and the grass will really take off then. But we're not going to get that, so fucking short hay, which is great freaking news. I just love that type of year. Yes, the last 2 years were kind of annoying because we got a lot of rain, but then, when you look at it, you're like, we got a lot of hay out of this, so you know what? I'll take all the freaking rain because we got a lot of good hay out of it this last 2 years. And we got slightly more last year just because I moved all the young guys' bales for him. He paid me in hay, which is fine. I had a choice between either getting some extra hay or he could pay me in fuel or cash. I picked hay just because I know that we need it. I can take the loss on the diesel fuel because I only buy diesel fuel once a year and that lasts me a whole year. So the little bit of bales that I moved for him, I've burned probably 10 gallons doing it. Now, probably a little more than 10 gallons, but the tractor wasn't wide open, so you're not burning a hell of a lot of fuel. You're lucky if you're freaking going half throttle with it, at times. So you're more or less using more gearing than you are throttle. So it's not really any big deal. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing there. I'm just doing some spray paint, and like I said, I want the other can for the back light housings when I get around to doing them. So I want to do them as well because there's no paint left on them either. There's just a tint of black, but then when you look at it, you can see the fiberglass in it. What is going on over here in the corner? something going on in this corner. I think there's a bug down in here or something. Maybe a fly, I don't know. It's not a bee though, because it's not as loud as a bee. These are, I think, are slightly louder than flies, but whatever. But yeah, so that's what's going on here. I'm back to painting the damn tractor again. Will this painting job ever end? Probably not, because there's always something to freaking paint. I actually kind of want to paint some white too. Get some white. Of course, I'm going to get that kind of paint. That from those yellow ones, you can get the white kind too. This is the red paint, but you can get white. But there's two different types of white. But I think I just want the regular. This is the red right here in these yellow cans, but you can get them in different colors. This is the Harbor paint. This is. You know what's funny too? I actually kind of looked in there, and he actually sells. It's not this brand of paint, but it's still the same type of paint. It's the farm type of paint, and he has International Harvester red there and a couple of other colors, but I don't trust them. Even though they say they're, supposed to be true, I'll buy them from a company that actually makes good paint. And you know what? I've been pretty happy with their red paint, so I know the rest of the paint's going to be pretty good too. So, but it's the same price too. It's $6 a can. It's all the same thing. So I ain't really losing anything that way. So, but yeah, this is about as good as this is ever going to get. Unfortunately, I can tell that now. It's never going to be like the other side. I'm still trying to mush some of the crap down, so maybe it'll look decent. I'm still going to put a thin layer on it anyway, just to kind of see if I can get the shine to come back through. I'm going to have to put it on kind of heavy, I guess, this time. But not so heavy that you cause running, obviously. Settle down there now. So, but yeah, that's what's going on there. So I got some parts coming for the tractor. Got an oil change thing coming for Big Red, because he desperately freaking needs an oil change. Whatever else. So, but I think you guys are just better off, if you're going to do any painting, you're just better off either sending it somewhere and having it done professionally, or if you have something like this, just replace it if you can. Because this you can replace, and they're already painted. The only thing you'll have to do is, if your grill logo is okay, you could just swap it over. Unless if, like this one's about 80% gone. There's no paint hardly left on it, so it needs to be replaced. But I'm going to try to get the year out of it. Maybe I'll replace it next year. But whatever. So, but yeah, it's going to cost you some money to replace them. But you know what? If they have a crack in them or something, you might as well just replace it and be done with it. Because this is like I said, it's only got one crack in it, so it's not a huge deal. But it's just, painting's a pain in the ass. Let's see. I'm gonna risk it and put some poison on. And of course, keep your distance so you don't cause more running again. So, yeah, it's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be 100%, but whatever. But yeah, so guys, I guess I'm gonna take off. I'm going to kind of just keep tinkering with this a little bit, fine tune it, and then maybe it'll go back on tonight. I don't know. So if not, it's going to be on. If it does, it's going to be late at night, because I'm not going to want to. This paint's going to have to cure for a while. So yeah, I don't know. So, but yeah, anyways, guys, I guess I'll take off. That's just what's going on. I just got stuff coming for the tractor. Doing some painting to the tractor, and got some chemical for weed control and all the other good stuff. But yeah, It's not gonna be 100% perfect, but good enough, I guess. So, whatever. Alright guys, I'm gonna take off, so I guess have a good day and stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching guys, take her easy.